Okay, today we're going to do the Flamed Aleph, Ahmed Aleph. And we're going to start a whole new sugya soon. I just finished up the sugya from yesterday. Yesterday we were in the middle of speaking about different miles, different chumras Chachamim made for Hekdesh. That by Hekdesh, even though something we finished up saying, even though something became Hamid, and according to the laws of Tara, it should become Torah. For example, if you put something inside the ground, or you have a mikveh, we spoke about the Meir Shiloach connecting to a mikveh. Once it's Hekdesh, never becomes Torah. So the Gemara is now bringing different things that we see Chacham were machmir by Hekdesh. So we brought up a dogma yesterday regarding the water of the paraduma. And we said that the water of the paraduma had to be brought directly from the spring, even though Midiraisa doesn't have to come directly from a spring. It could first go into another vessel. When it comes to karbanis and paradumas, especially, that you should bring it directly from the spring to reduce the tum. So now we're going to start the Gemara today. Daf Lamed Hey Amud Aleph Elo Daf Shim Bar Elo Amar Daf Shim Bar Ashi. Amar Daf Shim Bar Ashi. It's Amar Daf Shim Bar Ashi is the first of the on the first line of Lamed Hey Amud Aleph. Says the Gemara Amar Daf Shim Bar Ashi. Daf Shim Bar Ashi says Af Anan Namitni. We also learned in a Mishnah that regarding the rules of a Masechta, that it says about a Masechta that Tabal Va'ala, if a Masechta waited 7 days, and on the 7th day he went to mikveh. So Eichel, as soon as he comes out of the mikveh, Eichel is able to eat Meiser, he's able to eat Meiser, which means Meiser Sheni straight away. The Meiser Sheni, and we all know there's a din of the Masechta the 7th day when he gets up from the mikveh. So he's tired straight away, but he has to wait until the night. It's called head of Shemesh. He has to until the night to become 100% tired. So the Mishnah says that if he went to regarding Meiser, he can eat Meiser straight away. Head of Shimshei, when he comes Shkia of the 7th day, then he can start eating Truma. Said the Gemara Truma in regarding Truma, he's able to eat. Ahead of Shemesh is able to eat Truma. But regarding Kachin, he still can't eat until he brings his carbon for the carbon of a Masechta. Why? Am I tired? Why can he eat kachin? He's tired. He's completely pure. And if he's completely pure, who cares if he didn't bring a carbon yet? Bring a carbon is a thing he has to do anyway. But it's nothing to do with his tired. He's tired anyway. Says it's a special chumrah. From here we see Chacham were actually machmir, even though someone is 100% tired. But since he didn't bring his carbon yet, so he didn't finish 100% in his stage of being Masechta, even though he's tired, Chacham made the extra chumrah regarding kachin. He still cannot eat kachin. So too over here regarding sticking the truma inside the ground, it's actually chumah made that regarding kachin they never become tight. A third example the Gemara brings that we see chacham were extra machmir regarding kachin. Says the Gemara Amar Rav says Af anon namitnina. We also learned Brisa, a different Brisa. The Brisa says regarding the meat of a carbon shlamim. The Brisa says va'abasar. The pasuk says va'habasar. It says the hemshech of the pasuk is va'abasar. Gotar yechabasar says regarding the meat of a carbon shlamim that you can't eat if you're tired. But the Torah doesn't say habasar. The Torah says va'habasar. What is the pasuk saying va'habasar with extra vav? So the Rabbi says it comes to include even the wood of the carbon, ulavayna, and even the spices of the carbon. That even these things of the spices of the carbon are able to makabel tuma, and if a Talmudic thing touches them, they become tummy. Says the Gemara Eitzim Lavena regarding wood and spices. B'nei itmani, no, are they food? Are they even food to be makabel tuma? So how can we say that they're makabel tuma if they're not even food? Says the Gemara Elam Maila. Here we see is the extra chumrah Chachamim made that it's actual chumrah. Even though things we learned about this barichas quite a while ago, even though these things are not able to makabel tumah regarding the rules of tumah, but regarding the rules of kachin, since they are holy, Chachamim made the extra chumrah that they are able to makabel tumah. Hachanami ma'ila. So too regarding the rules of putting tumah inside the ground, that they are it's extra chumrah Chachamim made that they can never become toy. So all this is a finishing a sugya that we argued. We had the answer of Ravashi, we had the answer of Shesha, and then we had our argument. And the Gemara finished the sugya by saying it's that Chumrah Chachamim made. Now the Gemara starts a whole completely new sugya regarding the rules of matzah, which is very negaya. We're going to come close to Pesach. So says the Gemara, says the Mishnah on the Flamed Hey Amid Aleph, a third way down. These are the things that a person is able to be Yotzei Chiyuv on Pesach. Which Chiyuv? The Mishnah doesn't say Chiyuv Matzah. It's interesting. The Mishnah says Yotzei Chiyuv Pesach. You're able to be Yotzei Chiyuv on Pesach. Which Chiyuv Pesach is eating matzah on the first night, which is a Deiraisa. We're going to learn about it soon. So with what type of things are you able to be Yotzei your Chiyuv? So says the Gemara. Says the Gemara. A person can be Yetzer. Oops, just lost the place. Says the Gemara. A person can be Yetzer with bechitin. A person can be Yetzer with wheat. Besairin. A person can be Yetzer with barley, meaning if you make flour of barley. Kusmin is spelt. A person can be Yetzer with shifin. Shifin is rye. And a person can be Yetzer with oats. So these are the things, all these things are called the chameshas minadagim, the 5 types of grains that you have to make mezainos on, and you are yotze with matzah with the flour from these types of grains. Then the Gemara goes further. V'yotzin b'dmai, a person can be yotze matzah with dmai. Dmai, we're going to see soon. Dmai is produce that was brought from Amaretz. So Amaretz is a suffix whether he took maisos or not, even though it's not the Raisa. A person has a the Raisa, it's fine with the Rabbanim or Geyser that you cannot eat dmai. Regarding chiyuv matzah, even though dmai is a chiyuv that Rabbanan it's aser, but regarding matzah you can yetz the chavasa. We're going to speak about it later on. A person can also be yetz the ma'aserisha and shnito to matzah. A person can be yetz the ma'aserisha that even though since you took truma it's mutar b'achila. A person can also be yetz says Mishnah further of ma'asesheni v'gdishay the hekdesh and ifto ma'asesheni and hekdesh that were redeemed. So it's also going to be yetz chiyuv matzah. And a kohen can also be yetzer b'chala or b'truma regarding chala and truma. A kohen ki chala and a kohen ki truma. So if a kohen makes truma out of his if a kohen makes flour out of his truma, then he's able to be yetzer with that flour. But avolei b'tavel, a person cannot be yetzer with tavel. A person cannot be yetzer chiyuv with tavel with a food that's completely wasn't taken any truma, wasn't taken anything from it. And so to a person cannot be yetzer like ma'aserishin, lay nitra truma. So a person cannot be yetzer with ma'aserishin that was never taken truma. And a person cannot be yetzer like ma'aserishin and hekdesh. If a person cannot be yetzer with ma'aserishin and hekdesh that were not redeemed, since these things are holy and these things are asher to eat, so therefore a person cannot be yetzer chiyuv matzah. We're going to see soon. Says the Gemara further. Says the Mishnah further. Chales hatoida, the chales of the toida together with the carbon toida, they would bring 2 chales, and the dinim of these 2 chales is they are if a person wants to be yotze matzah with chalis toida or the kike nazir, and so to a nazir when he brought this carbon, he would bring a certain type of rakik, a certain type of matzah or a cake together with his carbon. So what's the din? Can be yotze matzah with them? If you made it by yourself, you made it for yourself, meaning you baked it. The person who brought the carbon baked it by himself to bring it for the carbon, and now we changed his mind. He decided that instead of bringing it for the carbon, he wants to bring it. He wants to use it for matzah. Saying then he cannot use them. We're going to see in the Gemara why. But since the idea, since he was back to them already, basically, so you cannot use them. If he's a baker and his job is he makes matzah, he makes these challahs, or he makes this type of cakes, he sells them to the nizirim. So he made it for the Nazirim, but he wasn't makdash them, meaning he never had in mind to actually bring them. He had in mind to sell them to someone else. So then this baker is yetzer b'hem, a person he could be yetzer chiyuv matzah with these cakes. Says the Gemara. Now the Gemara is going to speak about the 5 different types of grains that a person could use on Pesach for matzah. Says the Gemara Tana, we learned in says the Gemara, we learned in Tosefta. Kusmin, that spelt min chitin, is a type of wheat. Shibel is shual v'shifein. Regarding oats and rye, min sa'irin are types of barley. Okay, so we learned the Brisa that kusmin is wheat and shibel is shual is a type of barley. Says the Gemara, what is kusmin? Just like we don't know, and we have a hard time translating kusmin. The Gemara's time also had a hard time translating. It says about kusmin. How do you say kusmin in Aramaic? It says about gulba. You say the translation of kusmin is gulba. Shifein, what is shifein? Who dishra is dishra in Aramaic, and shivei l'shol is shvile tala. That's how you say it in Aramaic. So now we know what they are. The Gemara goes back to discussing about what is the din? Says the Gemara, from the fact that the Mishnah says after these things you could be Yitzchak matzah is mashma hani in only these things, only these 5 grains you could be Yitzchak matzah. Regarding rice and deichan, you cannot be Yitzchak. So says the Gemara, how do we know that a person cannot be Yitzchak with rice and deichan is millet? How do we know you cannot be Yitzchak? Says the Gemara, what's the Marcus? That's Amr Shimon. The Gemara brings a statement from the Mishum and Lakish. They also learned this in the Medrash of Rabbi Shmuel. Ben Yaakov, and they also learned this in the Medrash of Rabbi Yaakov, meaning it was a very enforcing the Gedin. Amakra says in the pasuk regarding Korban Pesach, says Leisechal alav chametz, do not eat on the Korban Pesach chametz. Shiva sham techal alav matzis, the 7 days eat matzis. So from the fact that the Torah didn't only say eat matzis, obviously the matzis cannot be chametz, but the Torah first says don't eat any chametz. And then the pasuk continues and says eat matzah. So the fact that the Torah connects in the same pasuk connects matzah to chametz is mashma that dvarna born with chimot. So there has to be a certain type of matzah. You can only be a matzah which would able to become chametz. And that's what the Torah is saying. Make sure your matzah doesn't become chametz. So you can only be yetzer from a type of grain that's able to become chametz. Then adam yetzer ben midei chayvasi b'matzah. Then a person is able to yetzer b'matzah. But yatzo elo. But other types of grains, other types of grains that even though they're grain, you can make flour out of them, and they're going to look like a bread. But since they cannot become chametz, if you're going to put if you're going to need them, you're going to put yeast inside. They're not going to become. They're not going to rise. They're just going to come. They're going to go bad. So these things you cannot be matzah. So by rice and millet, so even though they're a type of grain, but since if you're going to put a sourdough starter, you're going to put these things inside to make it rise, it's not going to be able to rise properly. So the Gemara, from the fact that the Mishnah says you can't be Yitzchak matzah with rice, Masnisi is mashma. Mishnah doesn't go according to it. Why? The Amak says in a brayso, says in a brayso that rice is a type of grain. And therefore, since rice is a type of grain, and therefore if it becomes chametz, you're chayav kares. Asers, a person to cook a dish on Pesach with rice and with millet. Why? They should karev lahachim, because it's able to become chametz. From the fact that it says that it's able to become chametz, we just said now that rice and millet cannot become chametz. And the Bechon Menoni is mashma that rice and millet could become chametz. Yeah, there's a famous question: how can it be machlekes mitzias? We have a rule that it's a very simple thing. Just go to the kitchen and try to see if you can make if the rice is chametz or not. So the Mefashim answer, based on Yerushalmi, that they actually checked it, and they actually checked it, and I don't know where this. I'm just checking Mefashim now, but Rabbi Menori's they tested out. Rabbi Menori's rice did become chametz, and Chacham's rice did not become chametz. We have to see exactly what the answer is. I'll look into it. But anyway, there's machlekes if the rice will become chametz or not. Says the Gemara, the Gemara of the Safik. We said Rabbi Menori said you cannot cook rice on Pesach because boim karev lahachmitz. It could become chametz. What is karev lahachmitz? What could become chametz? Doesn't mean shekarev lahachmitz. The karev chametz doesn't mean that it becomes chametz very quickly and early, and that's why you cannot use it, and therefore it's 100% chametz. Or I have another way of translating it. Karev lahachmitz have a karev lahachmitz that it's close to becoming chametz. To say that rice is chametz, he doesn't want to say. Meaning, do we say that which Rabbi Chamudi said that rice is chametz? Does it mean that rice is chametz? It's 100% chametz and it becomes chametz very quickly, therefore you cannot use it? Or can we say that rice is not chametz gum and you're not chayiv kares on it, but still since it's karev lahachmitz, it could become chametz, meaning it's similar to become a chametz, so there's a small chance to become chametz. So therefore, yes, that's the suffix that you shouldn't cook in a Pesach, and that's the suffix of Reb Yechanan. The Gemara's words in Reb Menoni. Now he's going to bring a proof for this suffix. Tashrim, I learned the brayso. The Tanakh learned the brayso. Amar Reb Yechanan Menoni. Reb Menoni said, "Eiras min daganu, rice is a type of grain, and since rice is a type of grain, if you eat rice on Pesach, kares." And also not only chayiv karetz, and a person's yotze chiyuv matzah with rice. So we see befeirash that Rabbi Yechanan says that rice is 100% chametz, and therefore you're able to be yotze with rice is able to become 100% chametz, and therefore able to be yetzer with rice on Pesach, which means that he holds that rice can become chametz 100%. So another proof for Berchem Menuri would say kramis. The kramis, we'll see what kramis means in a second. Chayeves b'chala is chayiv in chala. Says the Gemara, my kramis. What does kramis mean? Rabbi says sheitz nisa. This is a shitz nisa. My shitz nisa. What is a shitz nisa? Papa. The Papa says shitz nisa the mishtak binei al yonah. Papa says grain that's found between the reeds, the papyrus reeds. So it's a type of grain that's found by the reeds, and it's very similar to rice, and therefore it's mashma. Since you be yetzachiv chala, must be rice, and therefore you are chayiv. It can become chametz. Okay, now the Gemara goes into a new sugya about cooking. Since we're speaking about things that could become chametz, the Gemara speaks about the sugya of matzah, asheda. We just learned now that in order to be yetzachiv matzah on Pesach, has to be a type of matzah that's able to become chametz. Says the Gemara, Amar Rabbi B'chan, Amar Shlakish, Rabbi B'chan said the name of Shlakish. Isa shenelei shaba yain v'shem l'davash. If you have dough that was cooked, it wasn't cooked with water, it was cooked with wine, or it was cooked with oil, cooked with honey. So you mixed in different types of juices inside your matzah. Ein chayav nachimutza kares. If it becomes chametz, you are not chayiv kares. Why? Because meaning if you ate it on Pesach, you're not chayiv kares, because we're going to see in a second that it's not chametz, and for this type of chametz, you're not chayiv kares. What does that mean? Yasir Rav Papa, Rav Huna, Bereder B'Shua, Kamed Rav Yida Bar Rav. Rav Papa and Rav Huna, the son of B'Shua, were sitting in the Beis HaMedrash in front of Rav Od. Meaning they were learning Torah from Rav Avin. Yasir Rav Yida Bar Avi become an Amnei, and their teacher Rav Yida Bar Avin was sitting and sleeping when he was dozing off. While he was sleeping, so the Talmidim were discussing a different Torah, waiting for the teacher to wake up. So one of the students, Rav Huna, told Rabbi Shua, Rav Huna told Rav Papa, my time to the Shlakish. What is the reason for the Shlakish? That we just learned that the Shlakish said that if you need matzah, if you need dough in wine or oil or honey, you're not chayiv kares for them. It's obviously you can't eat it, but you're not chayiv kares for its chametz. So Amalei, so the Papa, what's his reason? So the Papa answered him, Damakras, it's impossible. Say halal of chametz. Pasuk says for 7 days, don't eat chametz, eat matzah instead. So from the fact that the Torah is connected, chametz and matzah, is to teach us dvarim sheyeh adam yetzer bahem yidei chabas matzah. The things that you chayiv, which type of chametz are you chayiv? You chayiv or things that you chayiv. Which type of chametz are you chayiv on? You only chayiv for chametz on Pesach if make this chametz mat. But these things, regarding these, if you need a dough with wine and with oil, so since since you cannot be yetzer of these things, chiyav matzah, because it's called matzah shena, and matzah has to be lechem oini. And chiyav melchim matzah. This is a very interesting din. So we learned in Torah Faket. We learned. It says again, just to recap. It says in pasuk shivas leisechal olav chametz, do not eat chametz on Pesach. And the same pasuk continues shivas yamim techal olav matzah, eat matzah for 7 days. Okay. So the Torah is specifically making a connection between chametz and matzah. So we learned a whole story in Torah now that a din of matzah. That the matzah, what type of matzah could be yetzer? So the fact that Torah connected chametz and matzah. Torah wants to tell you can only be yetzer from matzah that you're able to be yetzer. Here we're running pum faket and whole new din. That which type of chametz are you chayiv on Pesach? Only a chametz that you could use for matzah. Well, as opposed to if you have a dough that you cannot use for matzah. So even though you're chayiv, even though it's chametz, but you're not chayiv kares. What type of dough is that? Dough that was cooked with wine and oil, since you're not able to be yetzer matzah because it's called lechem matzah asheda. It's called a rich matzah, and matzah has to be lechem eini. So since you're not yetzer matzah, so you're not chayiv isur chametz. That is what. Remember, it's a whole story that's happening in front of Rav Yida Bar Avin. Rav Yida Bar Avin is the teacher, and he's sleeping, and he's listening, and in front of him is having a discussion between Rav Papa and Rav Huna. Says the Gemara. So that's what the Papa answered the Fun. So the Fun is trying to answer him back. The Fun says, "Ace for the Fun, but the Bishua the Papa. The Fun son Bishua answered the Papa. He said, he's asking from a brisa. Says Himcho. Says a person melted. A person took dough, or if a person took a Danish or whatever a type of chametz, and he sucked it up until it became liquid. V'gamoy and he v'gamoy chametzo on the shkanis. V'matzo ein adam yetzi lechavas b'pesach. So what do we say? We said we're assuming that a person who swallows chametz that was made into a liquid. Okay, so if it's chametz, meaning a person took a chametz, like a Danish, and he made it into liquid, and he drinks it on the shkanis, he's chayiv kadis. Why? Because drinking is like eating, and therefore you chayiv kadis. You took chametz, you made it into a liquid. Who has made it into liquid? You ate chametz. The matzo, but if you took a matzah and you made it into a liquid, and you did this on the first night of Pesach, you cannot be yitzach chayiv matzah by drinking matzah on Pesach. Okay, we have to see exactly why. The main beer is because a matzah, it says, Torah says, you have to eat the matzah, and this drinking is not a derech achila. So says the Gemara, we have a clear. So the Funa told the Papa here, we have a clear case. We see a clear case. You told me, the Papa, that until now, that a person, which type of chametz you have to be, you only chayav on a chametz that you're able to be yitzchiyah matzah. I have a clear brayso that says that there's a way to be yitzchiyah, that you're not yitzchiyah matzah, but you're still chayav for chametz by taking chametz and making it into a drink. So you're chayiv for chametz, but if you do the same thing, you won't be chayiv for you won't be yitzchiyah matzah. So he basically shrugged up Rav Papa's answer. So while all this was happening, Rav Bar Avin woke up. So I said, Rav Bar Avin woke up, and he started and he told them, kids, this is not the reason of Rish Lakish. Rish Lakish said if you need a dough, you're not chayiv kares. You're the reason you said Tana. It's not the reason of Rish Lakish. What is the reason of Rish Lakish? How many times Rish Lakish? The reason of Rish Lakish is Mishum have a little paydays because the wine and oil and dvash are made paydays, and we have a Kabbalah who made paydays a machmitzin. The din is you have the nature of made paydays. Do not make something rise, do not make them come chametz, and since it don't become 100% chametz, you are not yetzer. You are not obviously you can't be yitzchiyah fil matzah because it's matcha shira, but you're also not chayiv. Like I said, you're not chayiv kadis for eating things that were cooked and made paydays because they are not 100% chametz, and therefore you're not chayiv kadis. Okay, we'll stop over here. The top of Lamed Hem with base. We'll continue with Hashem on Sunday. Sei gesund.